Welcome to another episode of the Bethesda Brothers Podcast. I am the KingFanMan, joined as always with my partner in crime, Joey Caps Gaming. I call him Brother Joe. How are you doing, Brother Joe?
How I'm doing? We haven't done this in so long.
I know.
I don't know what's going on.
It has been a long time, way too long.
Yeah, it's never again, King.
I know.
Never again.
They say never say never. At least James Bond says that, but
Yeah. James Bond. Yeah.
Bond. James Bond.
I'm not a James Bond guy. I'm sorry. I'm just not a James Bond guy.
FanMan. KingFanMan. I tried to. Anyway,
Yeah,
we've got some Bethesda news to talk about. In fact, that's all we're going to talk about today, but there's been a lot of Bethesda news lately, and it's been a long time since I've been on YouTube, so I've got a lot of Bethesda news to spout out. But me and Joe's just going to hang out today and share some Bethesda news with you guys, and we're going to talk about some things that are upcoming in the next few months that we're excited about, and I bet you guys will be too. First, it has just been announced this week that Xbox is bringing a E3 type conference, whatever you want to call it, on January the 25th. Now, before everybody gets really excited, Starfield is not going to be a part of that showcase. It is mainly to showcase Redfall and something else that you may be excited for. We're going to talk about it in just a minute, but it's coming from ZeniMax Online Studios, the makers of the Elder Scrolls Online. They're going to be presenting something. Is it the Elder Scrolls Online, or do they have something else to show? We'll talk about that in just a minute. But you say, hey, King, where is Starfield? Well, Bethesda confirmed that, yes, Starfield will be getting its own showcase. And we don't know when, but that will be coming, I believe, very soon. So there's no talks of any more delays yet. We hope there's going to be no more delays. I'm still thinking around June for a release date. Let's start right there with Starfield. What do you think about the release of Starfield? Joe, when do you think Starfield's coming?
Man, June it'd be nice, but that's when that's realistic, I think. And from June, so Fallout 4 and 76, they had their little E3, not big E3. They had that in June. Then they both games released in November. That's like 5 months, right?
Right.
So maybe if they're doing something in February, then June, July. Imagine July. That would be weird. That would be strange. But honestly, imagine if the release, if the window was even shorter, like a conference in February, and then maybe like a month to get Starfield. I don't think so. But imagine
that would be
imagine
wild.
Like March or I mean, The Witcher 3 came out in May. Back then, like in 15. So
Todd has said multiple times that he would like to shorten the window from 6 months.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He wants to shorten it. So why not shorten it? Let's break a record here.
Yeah, I do believe within the next 2 months, I really do, in February or March, I believe we will get that Starfield showcase, unless it's delayed again. I don't even want to say that. Don't even want to mention that.
No.
I don't think it's going to be delayed either. I believe we're looking at a June release. That just works for me anyway. Don't it work for y'all? Because that would be, you would get the Starfield, let's say they would get the Starfield showcase in, let's say, the first part of March, which sounds about right to me, around March 1, right around the first week of March. Then you release the game probably 6/6/2023. Sounds like a Bethesda date to me.
Yeah.
And then you've got E3 right on the heels of that, which is also a time to promote the game yet again. And of course, the game's going to need a lot of marketing before and right after. So also remember that Redfall, which is the game coming from Arcane that we're going to talk about in just a minute, they have said it was all along, they've said it's going to release before Starfield, and they are saying that it's going to release in May of this year.
Redfall. That's another game. I mean, if we're gonna hear anything about a ZeniMax Online title, right? And let's say they're like, "Hey, it's coming out in the fall." You're talking Redfall, potentially Starfield after that, and then a ZeniMax Online title.
Okay, we're probably not done with Starfield, but let's jump right into the ZeniMax Online Studios because you
Yeah.
teased it. I teased it earlier. Let's go ahead and tell everybody what we're talking about. I have reported on the KingCast for a long time now that ZeniMax Online Studio is working on a full AAA, brand new MMO, and they say it's a new IP. Now, does this mean, Joe? Could this be a brand new thing to the Bethesda universe? Or could it be Starfield? And you say, wait a minute, Starfield's not a new IP. Yes, it is. It's not an IP yet because the game's not out yet.
Yeah, like you mentioned it prior to the podcast as well, King, that uh the Red Dead did that with Red Dead 2, and then Red Dead Online followed that, I believe.
Yes.
So if you could see, let's say, Starfield, like in May or June, potentially, imagine, and then the ZeniMax Online game,
In the
maybe
fall.
it's a Starfield game, yeah, in the fall. I mean, it's possible. But
They could do the 11/11 date with the
sure.
ZeniMax game. Yeah.
But would now, just to be different, and wouldn't you think though, if they came out with an online game for Starfield, that it would be like in the single player Starfield game, like make it into like a separate mode in the game rather than making a whole brand new game for it? I mean, who knows?
I
So I'm
don't
not
think
saying I want
so. There's a couple of reasons why. Number one, they got bit by their fans with Fallout 76. Not a majority. There is a portion of
that.
Bethesda Game Studios fans that never
Yeah,
accepted Fallout 76 and never will
sure,
accept Fallout
sure, no.
76. Let me say, by the way, uh, congratulations to Fallout 76. However, they did reach 13.5 million players. The game is on an upswing, so hey, that's very good.
That's cool.
But again, even coming from someone that has played the game from the very beginning, I'm still playing the game. I love the game, but I have to acknowledge again that is not Bethesda Game Studios' forte, and I understand why that portion of fans rejected it. It's not what Bethesda does. It's not what they are used to. It's not what they want. And I understand that. So I don't believe Bethesda Game Studios is going to go in that direction again. I believe they're going to hand it off to ZeniMax Online Studios, which has proven themselves with the Elder Scrolls Online, which made a first-class MMO with the Elder Scrolls Online. It has been proven now year after year. Had a rough start, kind of like Fallout
Sure.
76, but it has turned into one of the best MMOs out there.
Oh, absolutely. Imagine, right, King? So I know with 76, that's still going. I mean, we haven't really received much new content for the game. Nuka World Tour, that's like the last thing, and it's pretty good, but it's not what we've desired as a community, right? Like we want that more in-depth story, like a Wastelanders, or even Broken Steel, right, or Steel
Right.
Dawn. So imagine, like, what if, I'm not saying that this is even a thing, but what if the reason why Fallout 76 has been, let's say, neglected, just saying, I know that that's a strong word, but what if it's because ZeniMax Online is making their own online Fallout game?
Oh wow, for the future.
That I'm not saying that's true. I'm not saying that that's
Right.
happening. I'm just, what if, right?
Yeah.
Let's just have fun. What
Well,
if that's the case?
I tell you the good news about Fallout 76, if you want to talk about 76 for just a minute, is the fact
Yeah.
that Bethesda Austin is not working on it much right now. That's not the good news. They are actually working on Spy Team, which is probably a mobile game. I'm thinking. I have no idea what Spy Team is.
Yeah. Me either.
We can talk about that if you want to, but I don't know what to say about it.
Yeah. Me either.
But Fallout 76 now has three outside studios that are working on it. So I believe major new content is going to be coming to Fallout 76 also in 2023.
That's true.
So that is great. Now, whether it's going to be the story content that we want, that remains to be seen. But that is really encouraging to the Fallout 76 community because, again, with the encouraging numbers that we heard from last year, the 13.5 million, and then, of course, hearing that these three studios have been brought in. And just to say it, the Nuka World on Tour has been it's a great expansion, and it's probably been the best expansion since Broken Steel was put in. They're also finally bringing stuff back to the Atomic Shop that's nice. And for that matter, this last scoreboard, the Nuka Cola scoreboard has been nice. So some good things going on in Fallout 76. But with all that said, how exciting it is for those that do like online games to know that not only is the Elder Scrolls Online still going strong and new content is coming, and we're going to hear more about the Elder Scrolls Online, I'm sure, on January the 25th, but we're probably going to get news about that brand new IP, whether it's Starfield or something totally brand new from Cinemax Online Studios. Now, the only thing I hesitate on, would they actually talk about and reveal Starfield Online before? And I know we've already gotten gameplay from Starfield, but would they actually showcase a Starfield Online before Starfield the game?
No, but what I think they could do if this is a thing,
just tease it.
Just like they did with Starfield back in 2018 and Elder Scrolls 6 when we saw the release of So I could see that, and then it'll probably make people thirsty and hungry just to get more Starfield content,
and then we'll
which
see more
probably
E3
comes shortly after. Like at that. Yeah, so
well, and then that would be a perfect window, even if it's going to release this fall, Joe, from June to the fall. Wow, I can't see, that gets me excited just wanting to know more about that. All right, let's talk for a minute about Redfall. I'm really excited about Redfall. If you don't know about Redfall, Redfall comes from Arcane. Now, Arcane is the makers of the great games like Prey, Dishonored. Man, boy, the Arcane is a fabulous, fabulous studio. If you've never played those games, you really need to try them. Redfall is an open world co-op first-person shooter from Arcane, and it's a vampire game. Recently, Arcane just did an interview. They were trying to ask them what the game's like, and they gave them some suggestions what other games it might be like. And one of the games that it surprised me, they said it's kind of like, is Far Cry. I kind of found that interesting that they said that it was a Far Cry type game.
Yeah. I don't know how I feel about that. See, I've never played Far Cry, but when other people heard that as well, they're like, I don't know. I don't know if that's going to be like, if you're saying it's going to be like Far Cry, maybe my excitement has dwindled a little bit. I'm not sure. So I don't know how you feel about the Far Cry series, King, but I know as of late it hasn't been up to snuff. That's just what I've been hearing.
Yeah.
So, but I would just love Redfall to be its own thing, and I'm still excited for it. Dishonored, fantastic franchise. I binged that franchise. Like, I never played it until like COVID happened, and then I played all 3 games in like a weekend. It was fantastic.
Yes. And if you've never played Prey, my fans know Prey is an absolute masterpiece. One of the best games ever made. If you've never played it, do yourself a favor and play Prey. Man, that's great. But this is a game I'm definitely going to get and try out. So the 25th, just to reiterate on this news, the 25th then we're going to get this showcase from Xbox and Bethesda, mainly about Redfall, the announcement from ZeniMax Online Studios. We don't know what they're going to announce, whether they're going to announce this new IP or not. I would expect them to. I don't expect it just to be Elder Scrolls Online. And then there's going to be some other Xbox stuff as well. Then, as I said, also there's going to be a Starfield showcase coming up soon after. Back to Starfield, Joe. We're going to end where we started on Starfield. I am so pumped about Starfield. Don't know if you heard this, but an article came out, I believe it was last week, where playtesters, and this is from several parts of the world, who actually went into playing Starfield kind of with mixed emotions, not knowing what to expect, have been overly, how do you put it? They've exceeded their expectations. The game has exceeded their expectations.
Yes.
They said it was massive, it was huge, and of course they can't say too much. They're under a NDA, but saying the game exceeded their expectations and it was massive and great, that's good news. Obviously, hearing from playtesters that way.
Oh, absolutely. That's what you want to hear, right? Because if you hear the opposite, then most likely we're going to get another delay, which we're not. Whatever they needed to work out, whether it was the flying mechanic or anything else for that matter, I believe it's worked out. And now we're just waiting for an official date for the game to come out.
Could this be, and I cut you off, but I really want to hear this from you. Could this be another Skyrim moment for Bethesda? And I hope you know what I mean by that. Skyrim really changed the industry.
Yes.
It was a lot, it was a huge game that games tried to. What happened?
No, everything's good.
Okay. Everything just popped and went off for a minute. I'm back.
No, everything's fine.
Skyrim pretty much changed the gaming industry. It was huge. Do you think that Starfield could be that kind of game and that kind of success for Bethesda?
I mean, Skyrim, like you just said, is one of the greatest RPGs, open world RPGs ever, right? Yes. It put such a stamp on in just in gaming in general. The Witcher 3 was, the creators of that game were kind of inspired because of Skyrim, almost at Starfield.
Absolutely.
So Bethesda Game Studios, they've made one heck of an impact in this industry. And to say that, could they do the same with Starfield? 100%, absolutely. And that's what makes it really exciting. Listen, especially with Fallout 4 and 76, lots of bugs, right, at launch for both of those games. So a lot of people will nitpick Starfield, but at the same time, Starfield is going to be groundbreaking. It's going to be an RPG that honestly we've never seen before. That's how I feel. And Bethesda, they're innovative when it comes to RPGs, and I think if anybody is going to make a game as successful as their own Skyrim, it'll be them, and that could be Starfield. Absolutely. So I'm excited. Can't wait. And we just have to see now when the heck we're getting this game.
Can I make a bold prediction?
You may. Your podcast.
I believe that Starfield will either be a huge, huge success like Skyrim.
Sure.
Or it will be even a bigger flop than Fallout 76. And the reason I say that is because they went for it all. I mean, they went for over 1,000 planets. Come on. I mean, this is either going to be one of the greatest games ever, or it's a huge miss.
I'll give you another one. or it could be like New Vegas, a game that was incredibly buggy. Yes, it's an Obsidian game, I know. Incredibly buggy, right? And just horrible. I think it still plays poorly on the PS3.
Yeah.
But then over time, modders just improved the game. And it's one of, if not the best Fallout game ever. Arguably, of course. So if Starfield were to face those same, what's the word I'm looking for? The situation as New Vegas, right? It's I think the community itself would pick the game up.
Just imagine
And
what modders can do with 1,000
it's
planets.
it's going to be incredible.
Wow.
Look what they've done, even New Vegas, Skyrim. Look, obviously Fallout 4. That's why I would love for modders to get their hands on 76. When's that gonna happen?
I know it.
It was years away 3 years ago. It was 3 years away 3 years ago. Where is it?
Since we're talking about mods, last piece of news before we go. I don't know if you heard, but Skyrim is adding a new DLC after all these years. It is adding something called the Marketplace, which, if you didn't know, this is Paid Mods Part 3. It is Bethesda trying to do paid mods yet again. Yeah, Creation Club is gone. It's still there, but they're not adding to it anymore. They haven't added to it for quite a while, both Skyrim and Fallout 4. By the way, we should be getting a Fallout 4 Anniversary Edition soon. Can you hear me?
You roboted out a little bit. Yeah. Now you're okay.
I've got a short somewhere. I keep hitting it and it pops. Hopefully we'll get the Fallout 4 Anniversary Edition soon, and it's going to have the Creation Club stuff in it, just like we got for Skyrim. But I'll look for what they do with Skyrim. Y'all watch whatever this Marketplace is. Y'all look. I believe they're going to do the same thing with Fallout 4, and then they're going to do the same thing with Starfield. So I hope it will be done good. I hope they've learned how to do it and how to do it right. Because I think we've all said Creation Club could have been really good if they would have done it right. I'm not for paid mods, but yet I do understand, and I mean that's a whole other podcast. I do want the modders to get. I don't mind them getting paid. I like that, but I also like free mods. So you just look for whatever this is with Skyrim. It's probably going to be coming to Fallout 4 and to Starfield. So be watching the Marketplace.
Yeah, I don't even know how I feel about Marketplace. Like, I'm paid mods. I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of it because with Creation Club, it's like, are we just rebranding it at that point? Which I guess so. So I don't know.
Well, like I said,
I do understand it.
I hope they learn their lesson. I hope they do it right.
I sure hope so too. But that's also the great thing about mods is they're free.
Yep.
You know, and now you want people to start paying for them, like even more so. I don't know. I guess we have to see.
Yep, we have to see.
Yeah.
Well, Joe, do you have anything else to say about Redfall, ZeniMax Online Studios, Starfield, or Marketplace, of course?
Fallout
76, we talked about a lot today.
Yeah, Marketplace, I'm not a big fan of. Starfield, super excited. The ZeniMax Online, I'm curious. And Redfall, intrigued. And 76, I'll always have its back. So I just hope we get new content in that game.
Absolutely.
But King, I appreciate you having me on, man. It's been a while. Let's never do that again.
Absolutely.
But I loved it, and it made me miss talking about Bethesda even more than I did prior. So it's just thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. And we want to thank y'all for watching. By the way, if you're not subscribed to Joey Caps Gaming, why not? He's amazing. Y'all make sure you go down in the description below. His name and his channel will be there, or it might be in a link up here. Y'all check that out. Also, he has a baseball channel as well. I need to mention this. It's called The Shift, right?
Yeah, The Shift. The Shift.
and it's
I
doing
just
really
hit
well.
8,000 over there. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's doing great.
If y'all
That's
could,
why.
if y'all
That's
can,
why.
if y'all can stand the Yankees, go over there and subscribe.
That's why Joey Caps Gaming hasn't had the TLC it needs, but it will get it. It's gonna get it soon. So.
But we're so glad that that's doing that. If you like baseball, go check that out as well. I'll put that down in the description as well. Joey, thank you for being here. Thank y'all for being here. I am the KingFanMan. He's Joey Caps. We will see you later. Bye, guys.